about galactic chakras. I didn't find the information in a sort of, oh my gosh, it's just right there on the internet kind of way. It was just a part of a lifelong quest, knowing that there's something beyond the seven, and just, I'm the kind of person that asks a lot of questions and then Googles and sees who else maybe has a similar thought or theory, and then I get some good quotes. And one person that I have gotten really acquainted with as far as her work is Lisa Renee, energeticsynthesis.com. And so I'm going to share a little bit about stuff that she has brought in from the Guardians, which are higher benevolent groups that have come to assist us in this ascension window period. And so we do have a lot of assistance, and this assistance, though, is like our own higher self. You know, they're not aliens. The alien, I would say, is the more negative. The benevolent ascended ones, or the masters, or the sphere beings, or the guardians, those are all like a part of who we are. I mean, the negatives are to a certain degree, but it's more programming. I mean, it's a part of the experience of being in a free will universe and understanding the right use of power. But these higher benevolent beings, they're us. I mean, we've probably been them. So there's maybe some familiarity with some of these groups. There's the Aquafarians. They went extinct during the electrical wars way back thousands and thousands of years ago, and they're kind of back on this earth to assist. There's the Aurora and the Crystal hosting, which, along with the goddess, took over the Ascension timeline from the Melchizedeks, which had been hosting the Ascension timeline for about 26,000 years. They turned rather patriarchal, and it was really difficult for the feminine energy to be grounded into the planet because of that. So we have a really big history of how, like, the imbalance and the galactic wars and the exploded planets that created the asteroid belt brought about Gaia, Sophia, and this planetary body, and the template of the human, which carries the Christ Sophia, divine template, and the Christ light, the consciousness. And so the galactic chakras help us to switch that on. And when we start to switch on chakras, we switch on and turn on dormant DNA strands. And this DNA connects to the Earth grids. So the Earth grids have been manipulated, and there's been a lot of attempts to block the ability for us to move into the ascension energies, particularly targeting the dodecahedron, the platonic solid that connects or is a ether. It connects with the element, the ether. So what ends up happening, and what has been happening, is that everything turns into a reversal. And instead of being able to move beyond the seven and into our galactic chakras, we keep recycling and keep like looping in this sort of seven chakra system. So this is the time for us to move beyond the seven and understand when we move beyond the seven and we go into 8 and 9. 8 and 9 is actually the infinity spiral. And the infinity spiral connects with the back of our skull, the base of our head, and most humans have been implanted there so that they don't achieve this initiation. So if you're on your spiritual journey and you're finding yourself ready to move into that, and you find yourself psychically attacked, there's a lot of psychic attack. So what I love about events like this is we come together. We're like a immune system, right? We come together, we strengthen our forces, we merge our hearts. And what parasitic force can compete with that? So there's weaponry, there's all sorts of stuff to keep us from going into these galactic chakras, let alone even know they exist. And I'm holding the intention at this event that we all move into that next level. And when we move into that next level, we need to ground it into the physical. It needs to be a choice, a lifestyle, not just a philosophy or a thought form that we recognize. We need to live it. We need to be it. We need to walk the talk. And so think about the intention that you're holding at this event. And allow yourself to just breathe into just the fact that you're a sovereign being. And cut yourself a lot of slack and have a lot of compassion for yourself, because there's been a lot trying to get in our way. There's dark technologies that exacerbate our emotional bodies when we're having maybe a trigger. We might find ourselves a lot more reactive than we would have been if we didn't have something beaming on us, psychotronic weaponry. I get blasted all the time, and I'm just a little shaky. But I'm breathing through it, and I know that, it's really about allowing these tools, allowing these weapons to become a tool. Because when you turn the weapon into a tool, you've won the war. And when you win the war, by recognizing that the war has been on consciousness and you just simply have to make a choice within, then that fear and that feeling of being at the mercy of what you hear in the news or what other people are telling you about what the future holds begins to vanish. And you start to recognize that you're the co-creator of this reality and you're the artist. So this is the one thing, well, not the one thing, there's tons of things. This is one of the most important things that we can recognize is our creative channels, the power of our creative channels, and the importance of us bringing in instructions for our creative channels that we would like. Things connected to organic ascension, things connected to visions and dreams that we have. Not the artificial intelligence, not the memes that are about any sort of catastrophe or sort of doom gloom sort of scennario. We don't need to write that script. We don't need to be a part of that. We're powerful. We can be the manifester, and we can get this ether energy back. In 2010, the sun moved into the 13th sign, Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the only sign in the zodiac that is ruled by the ether. So everything else is pretty much what? Earth, air, fire, water. And then all of a sudden, we get the 13th sign. And the 13th sign, Ophiuchus, is ruled by the ether. And the ether is a fire-water energy. And the fire-water energy is where we start to experience that alchemy, and it helps us to move to that next level beyond the 7 chakras into 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whoa, it's gonna get really fun. I don't know, when people are like, oh no, prove that, or I don't know if I can believe that. It's like, well, if you think this is all there is, that's kind of sad. I've done a lot of research, so you can take it or leave it, but we are from what I've come to understand, a 15-dimensional time matrix. And those dimensions are our chakras. And we have a 12-strand DNA. We are switching on the DNA and restoring our template to the tree of life. We've been in the tree of knowledge. We've been in a sort of dumbed-down DNA, and it's been targeted with mind control. So if we look at knowledge, has it really been knowledge, a path of knowledge for the last 26,000 years or so? It's been war, it's been mayhem, it's been craziness, it's been this shadow government that's been this cancer underneath the surface of our reality. And it's painful. Yes, it's painful to face the fact that that exists. But you can't say it's fear-based to talk about it. It's like saying it's fear-based to acknowledge that there's sharks. It's like, I'm sorry, it exists. Wasn't my idea. Maybe, I don't know. We all came from the beginning. But the whole point is here we are on this timeline. Here's the positive timeline. Here's the timeline of ascension. Here's all of us who have devoted ourselves, who have made the choice to be on this path. So let's get excited about the fact that it's not just the 7th chakra, like the crown. We start to move into the 8th. The 8th, like I said, the 8th and 9th is an infinity spiral. So if there's an infinity spiral, that's a part of our human energetic body, then when we get in touch with that part of our energetic body, we're starting to prepare our human vessel to handle the light codes that are streaming in. Problem is they try and scramble these codes, right? So it's very important that we listen to incredible music like Mara, and oh my gosh, that was just incredible, to help our frequency.